Hello. So I wanted to get out this video to y'all because it occurred to me this has been up a bit in the field, and it's about receptivity. And it's not the usual level of receptivity where it's about you stopping by a colleague's desk and, or a cubicle and saying hi, or you allowing the door to be open for you somewhere. But it's more about the receptivity to all of life. So like where you'll flirt with life, where you'll allow life to come in, where you won't try to control how much gets in. So one of the ways and reasons I see this showing up is when folks are really task oriented, and so they can't bother opening that email that could possibly have this whole new possibility your heart's been asking for, or they can't smile to that stranger and make eye contact, and that person could actually open up a whole conversation and could become a new client. Or not even those ordinary ways, but unordinary ways, because what we're talking about is having your energy field activated so that it invites in the field of possibilities to interact and bring in new possibilities to elevate your life. And I remember when I came back from Asia in 2010, 10,000, I was doing these longevity workshops at health food stores, and I was creating these sample drinks from both Ayurvedic and Taoist herbs, super tonic herbs, and superfoods. And I had these free samples at the end of a particular workshop that everybody in the workshop had already consumed. And so I walked around the health food store and I offered these, and I was so astonished at the amount of people. And this is still me being reintroduced to American society, and that culture shock was worse for me than going over to Asia. It was really rough coming back into it was called reverse culture shock after living away for 10 years. So nonetheless, I went around and I was just surprised at how many people just automatically said no. And I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't wanting anything from them. I wasn't needing anything from them. I was offering them something free that tasted either like mocha lattes or chais. And I was at a health food store and it was full of longevity herbs and super tonic herbs. So that really stayed with me, again, because it was such a contrast from what I had experienced over living in Asia. Not to say that everybody's all open to life here. I'm going to move my arm. Excuse me, I'm a little bit shaky here. Let's see how I can do this better. I have a new selfie stick with a tripod coming, so woohoo to that. So then there's this other example too that helps. There's really these two beloved, one's a masterminder and one's a magic manifestation and money flow, that my signature program member. And they both came to work with me through the free call, booked an open the drawbridge call, entered magic manifestation and money flow to clear out traumas. And their bodies were really dense with the trauma. One of them had really taken on the pattern of going up in the head and really visiting with the spiritual energies because she was more comfortable there and just not comfortable in her body on planet Earth, not trusting that body, especially the lower chakras. And for both of them, their lower, well, for the other one rather, their lower, I don't want to say their names, her lower chakras were really jammed because there had been a inappropriate sexual invasion, like abuse. So when the trauma goes to the back because the conscious mind can't handle it, it stays buried. And unless you engage in this kind of work in a safe environment, in coaxing out the trauma in an appropriate way, it stays there. But what it creates is all of these unconscious and subconscious conclusions that a traumatized person will operate from in order to maintain their safety. That's like the utmost concern. And so a lot of times that shows up as like closing down to life, in being less receptive, in feeling less safe to be open, right? And so it's not just the task-oriented folks who are going straight ahead and not opening anything extra in their emails and not really having their head above water to play with all the field of possibilities that are popping open now. We've hit 2020, but it's also what I see so typically with people who have had mild to severe traumas in their lives. And so another example of this is, let me clear this out. So the one in magic manifestation and money flow, meaning let me finish this. We're going to clear it out in just a minute. she Thursday night we had a really super potent call and focused on the lower chakras and focused on clearing out traumas, especially for women or men from sexual abuse and inappropriate invasion, and then also correlated it to how that blocks money flows. And she, in the days after, was like, her body was vomiting because she was having so much that had been buried, released. And as we say, per my guidance, understanding the healing response in my programs is celebrate the discomfort, because it's a sign that we got to stuff, we're releasing the stuff. And so she's now around the bend. And the other one, the beloved masterminder I was talking about, man, she's flying high. I mean, she's putting herself out there now. She's instead of redoing her website and not launching it, and redoing her web pages and not launching it, and redoing her shop and not launching it, you get the point. She just let herself go live, and now she, with the website, and now she's going live a lot more on Facebook, and out walking daily where she lives over in England, and just like totally open to all the wildlife coming towards her, and just really receptive to, because she feels safe enough now because of all the clearing work we've done, to challenge herself and challenge her old positioning and perspective of life. And really let herself be grounded, and really let herself manifest, because she's so grounded now and not up here in the higher spiritual chakras only. So her receptivity has vastly, it's like popped, like a corn kernel for popcorn pops, and it becomes a whole new form. It's like watching that. It's bloody brilliant. So let's get some clearings to you all as you've started the new year 2020, and we had that really strong alignment between Pluto and Saturn that just began on Sunday the 12th, and we move forward now in these new times in 2020. Some of you may be flailing a little bit with your if you did actually make resolutions, and some of you, instead of flailing with your resolutions, you may just be like, okay, I got to get to it. I got to be serious. 2020, yeah, I got to tackle. This is my year. And with that serious deliberation, you've closed down your receptivity. We can't be too serious. If we are, the receptivity closes down. The invitation to all of life to come play with us isn't there. So all of the places we've done that, closed down to life. Disinvited life to come in and play with you, disinvited possibilities to open up your life so that your energy does the work for you. Your energy system does the work for you instead of you having to do the heavy lifting. All of the imprints from your parents that have caused you to close down your levels of receptivity in any way, shape, or form. All of the imprints from your parents that have you living life thinking you're open when you could be so much more open. All of the imprints from your parents and their parents, your lineage, that cause you to be less than fully open and embracing and inviting to life and all its possibilities that want to get in now. Are you willing to burn these all up in what I'm going to name next in the flames of transmutation? Be great to say yes out loud. It invites the energy of the clearing, and then the activation we'll do in a minute. In more. There you go. So all of the karma as appropriate that in any way has caused you to stay shut down to life or not fully open and receptive as much as you can be, inviting life in, that's also being burned up with the flames of transmutation. All of the cultural conditioning from the trance of the masses, it's getting burned up with the flames of transmutation that causes this, including the cynicism from all the marketing that happens, and the cynicism that things are just this way and there's no way they can be that light and free. People just aren't that honest or kind. I can't trust that, so you stay guarded. So all of that imprints and cultural conditioning from those effects and more that cause you to stay kind of blocked, protective, a bit shut down. You're getting burned up with the flames of transmutation. All of the free-floating thoughts and trauma that have contributed to this pattern, that cause you in any way to stay more shut down to life than what's in your highest and best, to getting burned up with the flames of transmutation. Some nastiness is getting cleared. You might want to inhale and exhale. Still working. Do another inhale and exhale if this is going right at you, please. Help it release more. All of the contracts, oaths, vows, swearings, promises, blood oaths that you've ever taken, sworn to, or signed that contribute to you not being as receptive and playful and open to life, all of life, as you could be and can be, are also getting burned up with the flames of transmutation. There's a lot here about safety. If I open, I'll get clobbered. If I step out like I have before, I'll get clobbered. And this is more about opening and receptivity and allowing life in more than it is about stepping out, but that one wanted to come up. And all of the unconscious conclusions and computations and beliefs you have that continue to keep this locked in place in any way, we're going to burn all of this up now with the flames of transmutation. It's almost like some film over a lot of you, like a blanket of film or gray coating is getting lifted off. Some of this contains self-suppression. It's a lovely one to have. Bye-bye, too. Activating the upgrade now. So all of the latent keys and codes within you, any and all inherent talents within you from this or any lifetime, across all time, space, dimensions, and reality, we ask to be brought forward now. Any and all of the blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment now with your highest divine blueprint, at least fifth dimensional divine blueprint for your highest potential and highest possibilities, for your highest destiny to be realized, activating the upgrade now. So I know that too. I can think of 2 masterminders I have that started off in magic manifestation. It's still running, so I'm still staying with you for a little bit to let it take. They came in with like that gray coating that was part of what's getting cleared. Just lethargic, depressed, not like fully so that they're on medication, but some of those people I've worked with too, for sure. A lot of people come in on antidepressants. It's like this learned way of living where you're only half alive, and they knew that, and they wanted more, and they knew that there was more. And they both have opened up to so much receptivity, like sparkling now. They're so beautiful, and it's not that they were hopeless at all about life before, but it was just that they were only half alive. And so that's the nature of the clearing. That was the intention behind the clearing that was just done on you. Really open it up so that all of you is here and present. We're going to be doing a lot more work on this coming up. So I hope you feel free to replay this. Those of you who are listening to this with heavy trauma, you may not want to replay this except for like every other day. But if you're not approaching this with heavy trauma, you can listen to it like probably twice a day. These clearings seem really subtle, but the work I do is like bulldozers, as many of you know. So just go slow with it, because we don't want to throw yourself into a healing crisis. And welcome to your new life.